Good morning, my brother. I'm here today at Sulphur Lodge in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's one of the 12 lodges around Texas that I am a proud member of. Before this epidemic that we are going through, we had scheduled 16 Grandmaster conferences throughout the year. And we had 6 remaining to do before this pandemic came upon us. This video today is offered as a substitution for those conferences in place. And in those conferences, those of you that had the opportunity to have attended one in person, you know that it covered 5 main categories, one of which is membership and what we do about that, benevolence or charity, family, legacy. First thing we're going to talk about this morning, my brothers, is membership. There are many things over the years that each Grandmaster has talked about to address our membership. And this year is no different. And I have basically promoted membership as a marketing program where we take our message to the non-Mason. And we do that in a number of different ways. Of course, there's one program that we just put out having to do with called beafreemason.org. It's a joint effort of the Grand Lodges of the United States, the northern and southern jurisdiction of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, and Shrine of International. That combination of people is focused on taking the message of Freemasonry to the non-Mason. And that website, I encourage you all to look at that, share it with your friends, and that is one of the several tools we will be using this year to promote Masonry to the non-Mason. In addition to that, just like our brethren, we've always had our lapel pins, our rings, and so forth. But I suggest to you that our fraternity needs to be more publicly promoted. In doing that, be more recognizable. That as we're out doing our various good deeds as a Mason, we do that because we want to do something good in our society, because that's the kind of men that we are, and that's what our fraternity represents. But those good deeds need to be paired with an acknowledgement that we're also a Mason. Not to where we stand up and raise our hand and go, look at me, I'm a Texas Mason. But that whether we have a cap on or a shirt with a logo on it, so like this one, that promotes what we are, I suggest to you that our fraternity deserves the recognition for the good deeds that we're doing, because that's what Masons do. So I encourage you to consider those hats, shirts, rings, license plates. You know, Rebecca and I have Texas Mason license plates throughout the state of Texas when we travel, when we go. You know, it causes us to allow our membership to be promoted as we're going down the highway, as we're parked somewhere. It puts a little money in the coffers of Grand Lodge, but more importantly, it causes us as drivers to be ambassadors to this fraternity. And just sort of a byproduct of that, it causes us to but drive a little more Masonically. That, and those that maybe would be hesitant to have license plates on their car because they might not drive as Masonically as they should, it also helps them to circumscribe their driving habits into the boundaries of Masonry and to be that good Samaritan driver that we all aspire to be. So, market yourselves as passionately as your conscience and your personality will allow us to be. Because I believe that, and not that alone, but that's a primary part of how we bring awareness to our fraternity, to the denomination. Because I do believe that the membership of this state and the population of this state is the population of the state is not very well educated on what we are. Some people don't even think we exist anymore. And so this is a way to connect those dots back with our good deeds that we'd be doing normally, and because we want to do them, and pairing that with our fraternity to where our fraternity gets its rightful place in being recognized as a fraternity that those kind of good men are a member of. That's membership, that's marketing. St. John's Lodge number 51 in McKinney, Texas is creating excitement in many different ways, but one way that I want to bring your attention to, and you'll notice it when you watch the video, is they create excitement by, again, they are membership driven. They are near the top of the Master Mason Creation Lodges in the state of Texas, and how they achieve that through promoting our fraternity in a discreet way, but nevertheless an effective way, is they have socials at the restaurant near their lodge. And they go in there and they talk about, just generally speaking, masonry and so forth, and people that are nearby will end up asking about it and want to join in a conversation. And by going public, talking to non-Masons about what we do, it ends up working well for them. It's in a high traffic area in downtown McKinney, and it works well for St. John's Lodge number 51, and they continue to be near the top of the number of Master Mason creations each year. Good job, St. John's number 51 in McKinney.
In the past 3 years, we've been fortunate to raise 37 Master Masons. This started from there was a group of guys that were met for lunch and different things on the corner close to our lodge. We're right downtown McKinney on the square, and one guy came in, and next thing you know, he's bringing other guys one after another. I think the secret to our success is the availability that the members of this lodge present to people. We try to treat people with respect and have fun and get people involved.
The secret to our success, I believe, is that we talk about Lodge, not only when we're in Lodge, but when we're out of Lodge, when we're visiting with friends, when we're in a restaurant and somebody sees something that we might be wearing then that's Masonic. We openly communicate that to them and invite them to come join us at our Lodge. When they do come, we're very cordial to them. We're very open lodge. I mean, that's a good, warm feeling that a newcomer might feel. Guys, get out there and talk about encouraging your friends to come visit and dine with us.
I think the degree work is extremely important at St. John's. This is the candidate's first introduction into our fraternity. This is the first time that they see these degrees done, and so it's very important that it makes the proper impact on them. We try to keep the brethren engaged and coming to the degrees and taking part of them by encouraging them that they can learn this along with the esoteric work, that the two go together, and you can actually benefit with your training by learning a part and taking a part in the degrees and paying back to the brothers that are behind you.
I think what makes our instruction click is that from the very moment that our candidates finish their initiation, one of the things we do is we instruct them on when our times are and who our instructors are, and we get their phone numbers, and we send out a text to all the members that are studying. We meet at our lodge a couple times a week. We let them know that if they can't meet those times, that we will find somebody to meet with them that their schedule fits. We make it work no matter what the candidate needs. Also along those lines, we sometimes stop and pause when we talk about some of the passages that are in there, and we ask the candidate what it means to them, and we try and also explain what we believe that it means also, just so they have insight. It's not just words on a page they're memorizing, but they understand what it means behind that. So I think that really means a lot. We strive for 100% excellence.
All right.
Palo Duro Lodge, 1239 in Amarillo, Texas, is creating excitement in a way that membership-wise that is not surpassed by any lodge in this state. They lead in new creations of Master Masons for the past several years. And how they do that is they have an innovative way of having an open house every Friday. Open house every Friday at the shrine, and they advertise it in social media, and people come. I've been to one of their open houses, and it is a success. They have a way of creating excitement within the community and drawing attention to anyone that's interested in Buda Lodge Masonry to come and socialize with them and ask any questions they might have. And it continues to be a success in Amarillo, Texas. Good job, Palo Duro Lodge.
Palo Duro Lodge in 2013, we realized that we needed to do something about our membership. We took past Grand Master Jim Brummett's Pass It On program, and we read up on it. When we started this Pass It On program, we gave it over. We started a membership committee under the direction of King, and he's the one that tweaked it a little bit and ran with it. That's where our membership started increasing, and for 3 consecutive years we had 20, 18, and 17. But the Pass It On program is a tremendous program, and it'll help any lodge with the growth.
I think that the reason that Palo Duro Lodge has been successful in its membership drive is that we cooperate with the other Masonic bodies in Amarillo. We cooperate with the Shrine, we cooperate with the York Rite. We're not in competition with anybody. We're anxious to get members to Palo Duro Lodge, but also to Amarillo Lodge or San Jacinto, Hansford Lodge, any of the lodges in town. It's the spirit of cooperation. We're all working towards the same thing, and that is getting good men into masonry and helping to make them better.
I believe our success in membership with Palo Duro Lodge comes heavily with the membership committees that we had in partnership with the Kiva Shrine during these years. We had a lot of open houses at the Shrine building, invited the public to come and find out what we're all about, to give them tours. Anytime we would have a major party, fundraiser gathering down at the Shrine, we invited the public to it, and they would come and ask questions about what we're all about. We would do a segment about the philanthropy that the Shrine does, and that mentioned that all Shriners are Master Masons. And if they had any questions or any further concerns, issues, anything at all, to please come and ask us. And then we had representatives there from the Blue Lodge to answer those questions. And as a result of that, we ended up getting a lot of petitions for the Blue Lodge. A big part of this was partnership with the Shrine and the Masons.
In my experience at Palo Duro Lodge, our growth in membership is attributed to the way that we support each other. We always have our backs. We have different clubs going on. We have groups of guys that get together and study on Monday nights. Another reason that we grow is that we're honest with our time commitments. There's going to be a big commitment so you can learn your esoteric work. There's also a time commitment of our fundraisers, our lodge cleanup days, our degrees.
I think probably the biggest secret to our success has been about relationships. When we bring in a new member, we want to make them a friend. Go to a hockey game with them. Go to a baseball game with them. Meet them for coffee. What's going to keep them around is the fact that I made them a friend. And I spent time with them, and I know their wife's name, and I know their kid's name. We want you to be a friend first. That's really, I think, the biggest key to the success here at Palo Duro Masonic Lodge.
When I talk about family, it's both our fraternal family and our home family. But our fraternal family, as we all know, includes, and it's represented on the back of the Grand Master's coin. It has everything from the Scottish Rite, the York Rite bodies, the Eastern Star, and the Shrine. In the middle of it is the square and compasses. Those 5 symbols represent some of our impedant bodies and our Masonic body. That's our fraternal family. And when I set up my planning committee this year, actually 3 years ago, the planning committee had the representatives of all of those appendant bodies that would be the leaders of those appendant bodies in 2020. Because we needed to address the issues and goals and desires of our whole family, not just Grand Lodge, not just the appendant bodies, but together. That we didn't approach it through silo management, we approached it as a collective team working together. And that's what the plan for 2020 is all about, is working together as a family, a fraternal family. And that's the reason for those people all being involved, and that's what's represented on the back of that coin. The other side of that coin, of course, also lists those categories, but but it talks about the other part of family and the family of our family at home. Because those lodges that have family engaged in what's going on in the lodge, I suggest to you have a much richer experience of what Masonry is about. And those lodges that incorporate their family and involve them are robust. Many of them are growing, and I suggest to you that I've been to those that have, many of them, and without exception, they're all vibrant, they're happy, and they're doing well. So we need to make sure, if your lodge is not one of those lodges that uses opportunity to incorporate family, I ask you to consider doing that. I believe you will enrich your experience and make sure the result of doing that. Buda Lodge, 1095 in Buda, Texas, is one of 6 lodges that is creating excitement in Texas that we've come across during our tour of Texas leading up to 2020. They do things well. It's a small town community. They're incredibly involved in their community and play an integral part in enriching people's lives in Buda, Texas. They involve their family, they involve the appendant bodies, and they create a lot of excitement in Buda, Texas.
The big part of Buda Lodge is the family. We try to keep that in mind and focus. Over the years, incorporating the family into most of our activities has contributed to our increased numbers that we have. Family is that reason, though. Families, the wives, the sons, the daughters. Buda Lodge has a lot of family-oriented activities that we do here. We have a Christmas party that we enjoy the family to come in. We get Santa Claus here. The kids get all excited. This past year we brought in, during Halloween, we actually opened the lodge up for our open house for Halloween. We got a Shriner clown here in full dress uniform, and he did balloons that day. And as the word got around town, a big part of the community come in. We had over 180 kids come through and get candy that day and balloons. We're really lucky to have the group of Masons we have here. And Masonry is Buda, and Masonry is family, and we are family here in Buda.
I think the strength of our lodge probably has more to do with family than anything, because most of our Masons are a bloodline Mason. The strength of this lodge, other than being big family members, is our Eastern Star involvement right now has probably helped more than anything. The things we do family-oriented wise, try to honor our widows, take care of them. We have tried to be really big in the benefit area of the community. One of the functions I think that I'm proudest of working with is we feed all the teachers, faculty, janitorial, everybody that works at the schoolhouse.
Buda Lodge participates in a lot of things in our community. One of the things that I'm active with is the Fantastic Teeth program. We take care of our widows. We have Widows Night every year. Every year we have a family Christmas party. Our installations, it's standing room only when we have installations, because there's so many family members there, and friends from out of town come, and we have honor the Eastern Star night, and the Eastern Star, they honor the Masons night. Anytime someone is in need in our community, we know somebody that we can go to point them in the right direction. It's always togetherness, and we're always ready to help, care for each other.
It's a great lodge. We do the Community Builders Award. The lodge also has participation in the Chamber of Commerce banquet. We do the Red Bud Festival. We sell sandwiches and stuff for our scholarship program. And we participate with the other lodges in our district. That's something that's really a help for our Buda Lodge, is that we have participation from Kirbyville, Jasper, Newton, Pine Forest, and Bridge City, and those guys. They come help us out. I am very proud to be a part of this lodge, and we do great work here.
Onion Creek Lodge 220 in Austin, Texas is a lodge that when you watch the video of that lodge, you will see that it is the pinnacle of involvement of family. That lodge had family integrated throughout it in a way that creates excitement within itself. The women on that video that talk about how that lodge has strengthened their family is very strong, and I commend Onion Creek Lodge for what they do. They travel a lot. They travel together in different Masonic events, and they have found the way and showed the way of how family can be an integral part of enriching the Masonic experience. Good job, Onion Creek.
I've been a Mason for only 6 years, and in that time I've not only found fraternal brothers, but many lifelong friends and extended family. That bond is what I like most about my lodge and about Texas Masonry. I'm motivated each day to build upon that bond and make a positive impact on my community. Onion Creek has been actively nurturing family and fraternal inclusiveness for quite some time. Every stated meeting includes a meal and opportunities for families to visit. Bingo brunches, cookouts, and picnics get us together on weekends. And as we do our quarterly breakfast socials, which we open up to the community, we've had great success at each breakfast social, honoring our fire, emergency, law enforcement, and teachers. And it's built a much tighter bond with all of them.
Our lodge holds quite a few different family activities, both fraternal and to the rest of the family. We have a family night every stated meeting where we invite our family and friends and guests to come out and eat with us before our business meeting every month. Another thing that I like about our lodge is our commitment to furthering education in South Austin. We've had a very close relationship with Pleasant Hill Elementary School for over 100 years, and we also provide scholarships to high school kids. I believe all these family activities are important because it gives our families an opportunity to see who we are in this environment.
One of the things we do as what I call an extended family is many of us travel together around the state and participate in various Grand Lodge activities. We'll all go together down to Corpus Christi for the leadership retreats. We'll go to Grand Lodge. So we travel together and we bring our spouses. And so within this group, we've all become not only close friends, but it's really built into like truly an extended family. And I can't say enough about what this has done to improve my life by giving me brothers, friends, and family.
Onion Creek Lodge has supported the Central Texas Dyslexia Conference hosted by Austin ISD the last several years by providing volunteers for the day of the conference, offering a meeting space for teacher training, and offering the lodge as a place to host a thank you dinner for the conference speakers and sponsors. I'm very proud to be a part of this Mason family here at Onion Creek Lodge.
I would have to say what I like most about our lodge is that we're all very close. We're always traveling around Texas with our friends and families to attend Masonic functions. We regularly have some sort of get-together at one of our homes for food, fun, and games.
Masonry keeps me focused on doing the good and the right things in life.
One of the things I like most about Onion Creek is that it truly is a home away from home for me. It's really like I'm coming to visit with my family that I hadn't seen in a couple of days. One of the longest running community service projects that the Lodge participates in is our hospital volunteer program that has been going on for several decades. And it's really a neat thing because the participation in it is not only just the members of this lodge, but also the wives, and we also have what we call friends of the lodge that participate in this.
One of the things that we look forward to as a family is Grand Lodge. We've made some really great friendships and we've created some great bonds with a lot of people that I probably wouldn't have been able to experience if I hadn't become part of the lodge. So the lodge has really become like a family to us, and we become, you know, one big great family, and we have great times together.
I love this lodge. We come down as often as we possibly can because it's so family oriented. This lodge embrace families and involve families at every single opportunity. One of the most surprising things since my husband became a Mason, and that now my son has become a Mason as well, is the increase in the amount of time we all spend together. When Ty joined the lodge, I thought we would lose him to a fraternity. It gave him a real sense of belonging. It gave him focus to work towards being a better man. And I've seen that in him in the years that he's been a part of Masonry.
Brother, let's talk about charity. You know, the Northern jurisdiction of Scottish Rite did a survey of non-Masons across the United States about 3 years ago. And one of the telling results of that survey was that about 70%, thereabouts, of all respondents said they would be interested in joining a fraternal organization that provided two things. Provided a fraternity fellowship as well as benevolence, a way to become benevolent, to give back to society. And Masonry does that. So benevolence is extremely important to what we're about, and it's what we do. Look at all the pendant bodies that we have. From Shrine to Scottish Rite to York Rite, it's all about doing benevolent things for society, and more especially children. Masons and children, helping children in need for different reasons is what we're about. It's part of the fabric of Masonry. So benevolence, charity is a must for the fabric of our fraternity. This year, we have the Blue Envelope Appeal, Grand Mission's Blue Envelope Appeal, to raise additional money for high school, college students for scholarships. This year we continued on with the $400,000 matching grant program, which I expect us to aggressively succeed at surpassing that $400,000 goal and arrive at a good amount of funds for college scholarships for high school students this year. So benevolence, charity equates with Masonry. Sulphur Springs Lodge number 221 in Sulphur Springs, Texas, is creating excitement in 2020 as well. Areas that come to mind when you watch that video of theirs is they do an incredible job of raising funds for charity in their community. Enormously for the size of their lodge. They raise big dollars by a small lodge. And through that effort of creating excitement, you'll love that tractor pull at the very beginning of their video. It creates excitement in a big way itself. But they also, by their involvement and heavy fundraising, they end up attracting people that are interested in our fraternity. So likewise with some of these other lodges, their membership numbers for Master Masons each year is near the top. And Sulphur Springs, again, is a small lodge that does big things in a small community. Good job, Sulphur Springs Lodge.
Our Help a Child benefit came about as we saw a need to be able to help children who, due to circumstances beyond their control, we wanted to be able to improve their quality of life. Seeing that need for children and being the Masons that we are, we felt like we wanted to do something in our community, let the community take a part to raise funds for that. Over the years, it's grown fantastically. And, you know, I don't think we can do enough for these charities. It's just been overwhelmingly a great joy for everyone that's been involved. We have several different divisions in the Help a Child benefit that from different aspects of the community that people have offered to pitch in and help. And like we started out with a chili cook-off, an antique tractor pull, and of course we had to have an auction since I was an auctioneer. But it's grown to not only a chili cook-off, but a brisket cook-off. It has grown from an antique tractor pull and includes now a hot rod garden tractor pull. It's really grown, and each year it seems like there's another individual or company or someone that wants to help the Help a Child benefit and help our Masonic lodges do.
Been with the Help a Child benefit since pretty much day one. In the 11 years that we've been doing the Help a Child, it's been $320,000+ it's been donated to help children. The community has stepped up in every situation every year. I believe it's helped our community, it's helped our lodge, not only Sulphur Springs Lodge, but Sulphur Bluff Lodge and Cumbie Lodge, because all three of these lodges combined help to put on this event. It takes a year to get it ready and a day to get it all done.
The feelings that you get when you get involved in something like this far exceeds what you think it is. The first year that the Help a Child program started, we raised $12,000. We have a total of $323,000, and last year we had a grand total of $73,000, which I believe is our biggest year, and we hope to continue to grow this. But more than the money, it's there is a legacy that's being built here. There's a lot of men that have put a lot of time in this, have worked very hard over these last years. I feel very humbled to be a part of it. We learn a lot in Lodge about the working tools, and what this does for us is it gives us an opportunity to work as men and Masons to use those tools. And I think the product shows at the end of the day that we are better men because of what we do.
Nolan River, number 453, is a lodge that is creating excitement in 2020, and you watch the video of that lodge and you will see a small lodge that's doing large things. It's a lodge that their membership was down to risking demising They got involved and started getting involved in their community and creating different events to raise charitable funds. The charitable fund activity caused the community to take notice of what they were doing. That activity caused them to start attracting members, and that fed upon itself. And now it's a growing lodge and growing fundraising. And they have created such excitement in their community that now the community, when any type of fundraising activity comes along, they come to Nolan's River Lodge to seek their input, help, and advice because of the leadership they've shown in that community. It's prospering. They're leading the way of rural lodges doing big things in Texas.
Two years ago, we discussed starting some charitable fundraisers, and the idea of a golf tournament came up. We decided to go forward with that, and we started our golf tournament last year. With it being an initial success, we decided that we should do something else and had a clay shoot later in that year. This year, we've stayed through with those things, and we had a golf tournament early on this year, and we're set to have our second clay shoot.
This golf tournament that we've started and our skeet shoot came about 2 years ago. The first year we had our golf tournament, it was shocking. It was actually a really big success. We sold out, which was our ultimate goal, was to sell out 36 teams. And it keeps growing. We're getting more sponsorships, which the first year we did not have. And this last year we had 4 or 5, and we're hoping to build on that. We started out with a committee. Each committee member had a certain job that they were to do. And it was an easy task because, as I said before, we only had $300 in our account. So a lot of us brothers had to put our own money in. It took us about 8 months for the first golf tournament to get it planned. After 2 years of us doing it, giving out over $51,000 in charity. So it can work. I don't care what size lodge you are, or if you're sitting back thinking there's no way we can do it, because we're a perfect example as you can.
One of the main reasons we wanted to focus on a golf tournament and big fundraising is so that we can reach out to grow our membership and also reach out and get with community outreach.
In regards to the community support that we've been able to receive, all of the charities, as well as young kids from the community and even just members of the community, have came out and helped at our fundraisers. A lot of the brothers' wives help, but it's also bridged a gap between us and what people used to think we were. Now we get phone calls to participate in all of the local charity organizations. The community calls us out when they have the Longhorn Days here in town, and we found ourselves basically in the limelight to where we're thought of anytime somebody thinks of a charitable organization. That's began to foster the positioning of ourselves to where people want to become members. So we've been able to gain quite a few members in the last 2 years, and you can see how it's directly affected by our success in these charity fundraising and the giving that we've been doing.
In the past 2 years, we've donated just shy of $51,000 to charity. We've donated around $12,000 to Lamar scholarships. Anytime that we donate any money, we try to take pictures, document that, get it put in the paper, get it put on Facebook so that we are more visible to the community.
These charities are important to Nolan River Lodge for the simple fact that not only are we raising money to our charities that we believe in, that is the heart and soul of this lodge right now, it has raised our membership, 12 new members in the last 2 years, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but we're a little town of 950 people in our population here, so it's not a very big town, so 12 is huge for this little bitty lodge. What we're doing is we're showing those guys we're out here working.
We're a working lodge, and if all lodges will do that, I believe that every one of them, I don't care how big your lodge is, you'll see a fluctuation of members. You'll see participation from the community. That's why these things are so important to us as a lodge, is because we were a dying lodge. So it's up to us to carry on these traditions, our memory work, to train the next generation of Masons.
Now let's talk about legacy. Our legacy is, as you well know, is what we leave behind. When we lay down our working tools, what are the people that we know or knew us, what are they going to say about us within the context of masonry? Did we contribute to its well-being and sustaining it in some ways? Not all of us can be the governor of Texas or mayor of a town, but we can all contribute in our own way as being good parents, good fathers, good husbands, good citizens, and doing the good deeds that our heart and minds call us to do, to be that good man that ties back to that issue of charity, and that also leaves a lasting legacy to our society, that our fraternity is here and it makes a difference every day in the lives of people.
I think Masonic legacies can be broken down into two categories, the tangible and the intangible. This beautiful building, heirlooms, property, those are some examples of the tangible. An example of the intangible would be the methods and the practices the lodge uses to impart the lessons of Freemasonry to a candidate, enabling him to achieve his own personal legacy, which I believe is a culmination and residue of a life well spent in the quarries.
Masonic legacy to me means having something for future generations to participate in. It means actually having real Freemasonry for my children and my children's children to participate in when they come of age.
The legacy for me is paying that back. Those brothers that were there for me, that I can now be there for other brothers and bring them out of their shells and make them better men. And it's because of Masonry and what this has done in my life.
I believe a Masonic legacy is best summed up in the explanation of the compasses in our installation ceremony. The compasses teach us to limit our desires in every station, that, rising to eminence by merit, we may live respected and die regretted.